Welcome to Power Hour, where the editors of Power Sports Business interview the movers and shakers of the power sports industry. Okay, everybody, welcome to Power Hour. I'm Brendan Baker, the host of Power Sports Business, and we're here today with Chris Yeloushan and Jason Neerman from Rollick, and we're going to talk about buying, about the future of buying, and how modern tools and technology and all that stuff, online, data, and how this can help dealers, move customers through the buying funnel easier, more efficiently, and really capture the interest that customers have in your product. So let's start with Chris here. Give us a little bit of background. Tell me what you do, what's your title, and what you do.
Chris Yeloushan, been with Rollick for 7 years. My focus is dealer development. I've been born and raised in a power sport and outdoor equipment dealership in my days. And then, as a mom and pop business, really wanted to help dealers. I know the struggles they're going through on a regular basis. So our goal is to just kind of help the dealers move customers through the funnel, make the purchase process easier, and really make a difference in that consumer, bringing back the dealership over and over again for repeat purchases.
Great. Jason, what about you?
Yep. Hey, everybody. I'm Jason. I'm the co-founder and chief revenue officer of Rollick. And we've been doing this now for really since 2017. So we've been able to, and we started in power sports. That was our first focus. So we've really seen a good segment of time in terms of ups and downs and industry trends specific to this category. So, and we worked with dealers really that whole time. So I think we have good perspective, and I know we're going to be talking about our future buying study here. Really fascinating data that came out of that. So thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining. It's impressive the study you did with the amount of respondents and participating brands, almost 30,000 responders and 27 participating brands throughout power sports, marine, RV. It does look like you have more in the marine side than power sports, but you still have good representation from all three categories: marine, RV, power sports, which we all know kind of play into each other. In PSB, we sort of dabble in most of them, not necessarily RV directly, but as we know, many RV owners have power, and same with boating guys, and vice versa. Power sports guys own boats and RVs, and so they're all very interconnected. A recreational market.
And I think there's a stat in there, Brendan, that the average power sport owner has 2.2 products in their garage, right? So they own an ATV, motorcycle, side by side, a golf cart. They have to tow it with something, right? They have a toy hauler. So that's what's a great stat. We've seen that they're all kind of intertwined together. You know that from your racing days, what you see at the racetrack, right?
Yeah.
So
pit bikes, golf carts, and every little toy you can imagine.
Right. That's right.
E-scooters or whatever. But yeah, the buyer is, and now we've seen, 2024 is kind of coming back down to earth from the pandemic days. As far as everything I'm reading and seeing, just it's harder to get buyers' attention now because everyone's back at work, and and if they're not, there's a lot more traveling involved. People were cooped up for a while, so they weren't, they were buying toys and traveling on their bikes and not necessarily, flying to Europe and everything. But, we're still above 19, which I think is a good thing. But yeah, you guys did this great study, and, I guess I'd like to see what your kind of takeaways, your main takeaway from this is, in that it using like online tools and the things that you guys offer and others offer as well, but to be able to get buyers into that funnel and to qualify them and get them to the point where they're ready to buy, and that's kind of, they're not necessarily buying them online, right? Maybe you can, I guess, I don't know, but it's not like a Tesla.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think so. The study was as it relates to the shopping process and buying, was pretty wide reaching, right? We asked people not just, where are they doing their research, but where do they trust the most? Like what online destinations do they trust the most? And then we ask them questions about engagement, like what sort of activities do they prefer to really get done online versus go into the dealership to do. And we asked,
can you guys see this okay?
Yep, perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to this trusted part. Yeah.
So here's a great example, right? Of previous to this, we had asked, where do you go? And then we asked, what do you trust? And so, it's really interesting, right? Manufacturer sites are where consumers trust the most. It's not that much higher than dealer websites, I should point out, but it is higher, right? And I think that's just a nod to the belief that a consumer feels like the manufacturer is going to have the most detailed information about the product of interest.
I think you get more of the sizzle reel from the manufacturer that they're going to give you all the specs and all the little cool photos and 360 deals, that you can look at it online that way and kind of study it as to it's building that desire for the product.
That's right. And I think in part due to Rollick and other technology providers who work with manufacturers, these websites are getting even more and more robust. We have, I think, almost 10 OEMs now that are actually using Rollick to put dealer inventory on brand sites. So that when a consumer gets there, they can actually see what's available from local dealers and the like. So
that's
I
a
think
great
brand
idea.
sites. Yeah. And it's been a trend. Harley, Polaris, they've had these sites too, where you can come and see local dealer inventory. So I think brand sites are only going to get stronger. You'll see more use of AI on the brand sites to help consumers get questions answered that are kind of easy questions that an AI agent. That's an area that we're particularly investing in right now. But
is that the little chat bot that you get in, that you kind of chat with, and they're like, "Hi, I'm Julie," or whatever, and you're like, "I'm your assistant for today," and
exactly,
exactly,
and so dealer websites as well are getting better in part through the website providers, and then in part through providers like Rollick, where we consider ourselves and some of the other companies in our area where we're trying to enrich the experience on a dealer website through, these engagement tools. Consumers want to know, do I qualify for special offers from the dealer?
Right.
What was my trade-in worth? Can I come in next Tuesday at 3:00 for an appointment? Can I pre-qualify for financing here? Right. So I think, just technology is great. Like, it's helping to move consumers upper funnel to lower funnel quicker, and it's helping to speed up then the time that they need to spend at the dealership. But it's not, and we I'll just pause after I say this. It's not about taking away the dealership, right? By any stretch. Consumers all want to go to the dealership for the most part to close the transaction. They just want to get more of that stuff that they can do done online so that they can save time and effort.
And going back to some, I think there's also a generational thing that we see with people doing this more online, the older guys, the boomers, as they say, maybe, and, maybe Gen X. I don't know. I'm Gen X, but I'm fine with online digital tools, and I'm, it's not to say it's a blanket of everyone, but I think there's a certain type of customer that wants to just go into the that's how they've always done it, or that's how they do it. They don't know, they're not comfortable necessarily with doing things online at this point, but, maybe that's shifting as well.
Yeah, Chris, you can hop on this. I would just say for sure, like the reasons why you still see, and I don't know if you have the graphic, but we have a graphic that shows what people want to do online versus at the dealership. The reason why there's still a high percentage of people that want to even go to the dealership to get a trade-in value or start the financing process is because there's a range of consumers out there, right, Chris? I mean,
yeah, 68%, 68%,
yeah.
regardless of the generation, Brendan, want to start their journey online. And then as it goes down to looking for inventory, getting financing, getting close to the purchase, that's when they go in store. But again, if they're going on even this to see with the AI chats, right? They just want to know, hey, does it have a roof? Does it have a windshield? Does it have a winch? Does it come? What's the towing capacity? What's the payload capacity? They just want general questions to get product information, and then they want to interact with the dealer at that point. But majority, regardless of generation, Brendan, it's online. 68% in power sports want to start online, which is really high.
Yeah, no, that's a very a strong number that and I think that trend has been growing, right, for a while, and I think it's just getting, now with everyone getting more used to buying stuff online and the shopping process, I guess, online, it's just, I think, going to get bigger. But yeah, like you said, you're not necessarily taking away from the dealership's time. You're giving them a much more qualified, interested buyer at that point, to come in. You've got more conversation that you can have about product. You're not necessarily, did I read on here that it was something about, they want to figure out price kind of more upfront or kind of negotiate some of that stuff online,
Yeah. 90+%, 90+% of those consumers did make the purchase because they just want an upfront price. They wanted their questions answered. They want to know what their finance options are before they come in the dealership. Once they know that, they know they're pre-approved, they know all that stuff up front. And at that point, they're focused on the product. We want the sales specialist, the dealership, to focus on the product knowledge and how to use the product versus all that pre-stuff up front. Let them get it done and do it online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then they're still going to have to go through an F&I process after.
Correct.
So then that takes time. So
that's right.
But yeah.
Yeah. Let the dealers do the fun stuff of talking about the features and why this versus that, and sell it, and let kind of the boring stuff, right? The pre-qualification, the trade-in estimate, let that happen through the technology for those consumers that want to do it through the technology. If they don't, they'll go to the dealership, but at least provide that option for them.
Yeah. So, and this seems like a relatively, I guess since 2017, maybe it's even a little newer, but I mean, it's still a relatively new option, I think, for people to be able to do this kind of this much legwork up front, and even like being pre-qualified without having a credit pool and stuff like that, to where you can really just kind of gauge what your range is, what you're able to buy, versus like the sales guy saying, well, what's your price range, and then having to go through and figure out, oh, well, you really have like a 500 credit score or something like that. We can't, you're going to have a lot less bike for that because you're going to have a higher interest rate, whereas you can figure that out kind of up front now.
Yeah, that's, I think, the number one positive feedback we get from dealers is that when a consumer does go through the online pre-qualification, they just now can segment them better. They know this is the audience that can come in and they can get financing, and we're not going to have to worry about that. And this is the audience where I'm going to have to, ask them to bring a cosigner in to buy this, or I'm going to have to get them to transition from a new to a used bike that's less value in order to get them financed. It's just knowledge and prioritization. I don't even want to say lead prioritization. I think dealers prioritize, consumers that want to buy from them, but they can they can personalize the experience based on what they learn from that online activity that comes into them via solutions like ours.
How many are you able, what's the average of being able to convert somebody that's coming in purchasing this way? Is there I'm assuming there's a pretty high conversion rate?
There is, and we've done some case studies recently. Chris, you want to share any of the recent ones?
Yeah, I mean, some recent case study, we did a couple big groups. The average person coming through the digital retailing tool, depending on which of the modules they clicked up, like special offers, for example, we're talking about, right? those customers are converting almost 13%, right? Because they went through, they filled out a finance app, they put all the information, they're a AAA member, they're a SAMS member, they're a USAA member, that type of qualification up front. They want to buy within 30 days. It just makes that enrich that lead for that dealer salesperson. Just follow up with a phone call. Hey, I got all the information up front. Let's plan an appointment to come pick the thing up, right? That's what we want to do, is allow them. It converts much higher because they're putting more information up front and enriching that experience for that consumer and dealer.
And now with your tool, don't you guys have, like, you mentioned USAA and like AAA and all that. So you have it loaded to where you can qualify a buyer for discounts they may qualify for, like a USAA, that kind of thing, right? So instead of having to go through a separate process to do that, to say, hey, I've got this code or I've got this, affiliation, take it off the bottom line or whatever, it can do that more upfront.
Yeah. So one of the most long-standing products we've had at the company is what we call like our special offers tool, which enables the consumer to know if they qualify for anything special that either the dealer or the manufacturer or even the provider, in this case Rollick, has our own bonus offers that we're starting to deliver through that tool. So, and it all happens online, verifying within the tool. You can verify you're a member of AAA or USAA or a progressive customer or even an employee of a local employer. And we give then the dealer the ability to provide some sort of benefit because of that. Maybe it's 10% off parts and service. Maybe it's a few $100 off the price. And then, of course, we layer in manufacturer offers. So if we know there's special pricing from a manufacturer that we've arranged for that audience, or maybe there's special financing rates, those sort of things. For us, it's all about, whether it's this industry or any industry, when you get something special, you are more likely to convert. It's just a fact of our world. And so we want to be able to put that kind of front and center. And what we found is that when we do, we get dealers see more engagement. So they see more people, and then they see better close rates, as Chris mentioned. The data is very clear on that.
Yeah. I want to shift gears real quick though and talk about another part of this, and that is the response times. So what is, and I know we were talking earlier that the PSI study or the Pied Piper study for internet lead effectiveness just came out, and they said something like 3 out of 10 dealers are ghosting buyers online, or ghosting, responses, so they don't respond at all. And you guys think it's much higher than that. Can you, talk through some of the what you guys have found as far as like responding and how to respond, how to set up your systems or your team to respond to these types of things and not ghost people? Because I think obviously if we're losing 70%, even if that's a low number, that's still pretty significant. Or if we're losing 30%, I mean.
Yeah, Brendan, the study proves it. I mean, the average consumer now is expecting response time in less than 10 minutes for every lead they put in through the internet, right? Even a phone call. So a phone call, a text, and an email, all 3 of those should be done within 10 minutes. Once that's done, the customer will reply back, at least ask questions, right? Or establish your preferred method of contact. A lot of these, like us, are working from home. We're on calls like this. So I can't pick up the phone, but I can text you the whole time I'm on a conference call, right? Back and forth.
Right.
And then how do I get them engaged through like an email nurture? So what's really interesting is the customers have no problem having an email nurture or follow-up, even if they want to buy within 30 or 45 days or whatever. They don't mind communication via email back and forth, and they can answer questions and be re-engaged with the dealership. So response time matters, less than 10 minutes, and then constant communication during the buying process is paramount to the dealer success. We're seeing responses all the time from consumers. I just filled out a credit application. No one's called me back on your website. I just put a lead in. I have a question about this product. No one's called me back. So our goal at Rollick is really to help your dealership prevent that from happening with all of our tools and solutions.
Yeah. Now, is that using like an automated response thing, or is it more like a real actual salesperson or
Yeah.
somebody from the dealer saying,
we have
hey,
we have a
Yeah.
full email nurture product, Brendan, where to set it and forget it, right? It's like an invisible salesperson. Once that customer comes through the CRM, like Lightspeed, for example, we can actually get that customer in the nurtured funnel and be able to nurture that customer from the time they put it in all the way to purchase, right? That's the
Okay.
goal, is keep them engaged. They're telling us they want engagement within a year. I mean, that's awesome to see that stat. Most of them will, most power sports based in the study are buying within 1 month. So we can send a cadence of emails within, 3, 4, 5, 6 emails within 30 days and keep that customer re-engaged in the buying process if they don't answer their phone, right? When they're on conference calls like this.
Right.
Yeah, and I'll add, right, so the data shows, right, 68.8% of consumers who submit a lead expect to get a response in the same day, right? So,
Yeah.
Dealers are busy. They have limited sales staffs. They're working customers in the store. Like, the idea of having an automated, really nicely branded with good content, message that goes behind the scenes is just meant to help. It's not meant to say you're doing a bad job. It's meant to say you need help, right? You're busy.
Right.
You got a lot on your plate. And what's really cool too with what we see from these nurture emails that go out is we're seeing the engagement. We see people opening, clicking buttons that get them into the financing app, clicking buttons that get them, to put in a trade-in value, clicking buttons to schedule an appointment with the dealer. So it's all incremental. It's all helping the dealer close. And the reality is the data is very evident, like leads that get nurtured versus leads that don't get nurtured. Leads that get nurtured close at almost double the rate.
Yeah.
It's pretty remarkable. And again, the dealers could still do their normal follow-ups. They should be doing their normal follow-ups. It's just have this going, the invisible salesperson, as Chris said,
Right.
have this going behind the scenes, whether it's with Rollick or any provider,
Yeah.
it's important to have that going.
It's that connection that it's like you're making contact, whether it is a form or not. I don't know. I think that's kind of, case by case, I guess, or, whatever the dealership prefers or has time for. Like you said, their people are busy, but you can jump in there at any point. So like, say that first response, like, hey, I just feel, you filled out a form and your pre-qualifying form, and your next step would be, something from the dealership. Maybe the dealership would be like, they kind of calculate it behind the scenes and go, hey, great news, you've been approved to purchase a vehicle. Here's kind of your price range of what we have in inventory, that kind of stuff. Or maybe they've already clicked on a bike that they want, and they're like, hey, it looks like you could do this. We have a few more things to follow up on, and go from there. So it's, I don't know where, I know this is like the future of buying is now, but I think the future, which, I'm looking maybe, what is that, 5 years out from now, let's say 5 years from now, 2029. I mean, it could look, we could be light years ahead, just think 5 years of AI.
Well, that's where I think it's super exciting is now, our emails today are good. They're great content, they're right on, but think about the personalization that can come with AI, where, these emails are completely personal. They know we can look up, where you live on a lake. Okay, now we're messaging stuff about going out on the lake this weekend, and, even naming the lake because we know your address from the lead form. And so there's a lot that can be done. And we're looking at all, implementing all that within our tools. I'm sure other providers are as well. But but again, I think it's all about creating that digital experience so that it sets up the best in-store experience. Because I think still the idea of buying these products online is still pretty far out. So there's going to need to be, strong dealers to close these deals always.
Right. And that's like we've said here all along, we're not diminishing the need for if anything, it increases the need for a good dealer, and especially being able to a dealer that can implement all these tools and really follow through with customer, what the customer wants and expects, moving away from some of the, there's a lot of small dealerships. So you walk in, it feels more like a club than a store. You're like, oh, hey, am I cool enough to buy from you guys? I mean, we all wish we could, be in business like that, I guess. But, and the reality is we have to have customers and sell a certain amount of products every week, every day, So,
yeah.
What is there anything, I know we talked about some of the discounting, which again, discounting is a great way for lead generation. We're seeing that from the manufacturers, discounting's gone way up now. Inventory, supply chain stuff has been, for the most part, handled and dealers are getting inventory. So now it's a matter of moving the inventory because it's like, they finally got the inventory they wanted during COVID, but now it's like, okay, we got to, all the buyers are scattered everywhere. So explain a little bit. I know you guys have a program that you use and how that works with USAA.
Oh, yes. So this is a really exciting new program for Rollick. And I think we've talked about a little bit some of your mediums in the past. So, USAA is one of the most trusted brands out there, fantastic member service, and they're always looking to provide extra special benefits to their audience, which is the military, veterans, people that work hard to protect the country, and then their families who need help, with stuff. So we've been going out to manufacturers in RV previously, and now we're actively within power sports to see what brands want to provide an extra benefit for this audience. And so we are just in the process of bringing it out. We actually have 3, I'll name them here. We have 3 fantastic brands that are participating for now. There's several others that are very close to jumping in, but we have Rivid, we have Land Moto, and we have Easy Go golf carts that are all jumping in at the launch within our power sports program. And there's some big brands right behind that. I don't want to name here until it's signed, but some big ones coming on too. But this is an open opportunity for any brand. This is done at the brand level versus the dealer level. For any brand that's interested in supporting this audience, it could be anywhere from a $500 to a couple $1,000 special offer. We facilitate the whole program via gift card rebate process. So it's pretty easy to do. It's pretty low cost. It's all pay per performance based. We really wanted to make this easy for brands to say yes, so we could help serve this part of the country. This segment of people.
I think that's great, and it's good timing for all that because I believe this will be coming out around. It'll be in May at some point because we're, the way we've got so many pods in the channel already that we're trying to get out. So we're trying to do every couple of weeks, but this will probably come out sometime in early May, I believe. So I think obviously keep the veterans and the troops in mind and giving them a break because of all the things that they do for us is great to keep in mind. And it's great that these brands are jumping on board and more, it looks like more to come, again. And, military is one of the bigger, they're a pretty big buying segment of
That's right.
Power sports. So
1 in 5 consumers are a USAA member, right? That's huge. And we know your experience too, traveling across the country, Brendan, we see, I would say almost every power sport owner, probably 50% are military and veterans and their families, right?
Yeah.
Pretty high. So I'm excited about
number.
This offer.
Yeah. So I think it's great. You guys offer that. Is there anything else that we didn't cover you guys want to cover here? I kind of looking through some of the reasons for not buying, purchasing, initial repeat, some of the controlled versus uncontrollable type situations,
Yeah. It's kind of what you would expect. Low to no inventory for what you're looking for. the price being too high, a long wait time. I think those are kind of the norm. I don't think there was anything unsurprising there, but the data is good and it's kind of interesting. So I would definitely encourage people to check it out, because there may be things dealers can do to address these reasons for not purchasing with their marketing messaging, or just talking to the manufacturers on getting more specific product in stock that matches what they're seeing online. So I'd say that, and then I'll throw in a plug too, for rental.
Yeah.
There's still not a lot of rental going on like at the peer-to-peer level, but those that do rent, clearly you're seeing that the rental is impacting the buying decision. So I know we work with a great company called Twisted Road, that has a motorcycle rental program.
Yep.
They're integrated into our buying programs. So if you come to the Sam's Club program or Progressive or an employee program, we give the consumer the option to do a rental, find local inventory to rent from Twisted Road. And again, the data shows that when you do rent, you're more likely to buy. And so even dealers, using that strategy to offer rentals, maybe on the pre-owned stuff that they're selling, let the consumer go take it out, try it. You're going to see a lift in your buying. So that was another interesting trend that we found, and it's great to see.
I think it's very that's a very good point, and I think a lot of so I just got back from Vegas recently, and we went out to we went out through the Alien Highway, and then we went to a ghost town, and we were out by Lake Mead, and there's three motorcycles. There were bikes everywhere, especially when you're outside of Vegas, guys on bikes. So we go out there, and we're out looking at Lake Mead, and these guys on bikes, they had three Harleys come up. They're like, "Hey, you want us to take your picture?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure. Why not? I'll take yours." Well, they were German, or no, they were Austrian, from Austria. One of their buddies got married, and so they're renting Harleys from one of the Eagle Rider or whoever. But these are great times to if you're traveling, even to be able to go hey, how cool would it be to have a bike here, and you can rent one and kind of rent something you might want to buy, even to really give it to have a long-term feel for what that is. And I think it's a good, very undervalued selling tool, for what it is. But it's a great opportunity, even if you already own a bike, just having rentals, because you're not necessarily going to ride out every, if you're in Austria, you're not shipping your bike over, most likely,
Correct. Yeah.
So, yeah. No, this is great stuff, guys. I really appreciate your time on here today, and definitely keep us in the loop for any other programs or kind of buying studies and things that you find out, because I think this is of interest to all of our readers and dealers. So great stuff, and appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you soon. And anything you want to add before we go?
No, thanks for the opportunity. Really enjoyed it.
Good.
Yeah, just
okay.
Feel free to share.
Right.
The buying study can be shared at Rollick.io. I know you're going to send it out, Brendan, but it's there for dealers to pull off of our website, share about more of our tools, and set up a demo with us. We can go into more detail of all of our stuff and our products together. Anytime a dealer wants to jump on a call, it takes 15, 20 minutes to go through an online demo with us.
Perfect.
Yeah. And
so
Brendan,
that's all available on your website then to download.
Rollick.io, it's right there. We have all of our podcasts, all the webinars, the white papers, all that's there and set up a demo as well with us. So it's very easy to get in touch with us at Rollick.io.
All right. That's awesome. Okay, guys. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the work you do, Brendan,
Thanks, Brendan, very
keep
much.
everybody informed and knowledgeable on what's going on in the industry. You do a great job with that. So thank you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. So no, and I'll do we're cut. So just thanks again, guys. Appreciate your time on this, and hopefully this will be. I mean, this is a good study. I think that just the amount of data in here. People like we're kind of data hounds in this part of the industry and what we do. So I'm always looking for good numbers and good things to support kind of where we think things are going. And I think this is really something that points to the right direction of what dealers, interesting to note is that like the study that we got from Pied Piper was saying that, hold on a second now. I was going to try to see and I just had it in my head and then my brain farted. So, which always happens.
Yeah, I think for you, Brandon, any content you need, Laura and I are always big about bringing up compelling content, articles, things like that, blogs, stuff like that, jumping calls, sharing this. We're very a data-driven company. So we're always looking ways to help our dealers. So anyway, we can always provide feedback on something. Hey, you problem your dealers are having, reach out to us. We can hopefully find solutions for them.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you guys. And
thank you very much.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
Talk to you soon.
Weekend. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
If you like this podcast, please like, share, and subscribe. We also invite you to connect with us on powersportsbusiness.com.